be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. I hope you enjoyed the content. And before we get into this video, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe, and go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. So today I am having some fried shrimp, and on the side I have a Greek salad. So I kept it very simple. I was going to have fries, but the salad won. All right, so let's go ahead and get it. I have some sweet chili dipping sauce off to the side, and I also have some ketchup. So I'm gonna start things off. I think I want the sweet chili sauce first. Give y'all the first bite. There you go. I ain't had fried shrimp in a minute. Y'all, I love Greek salad so much. And this one, the only thing that's missing out of this, it has cucumbers, some tomatoes, feta cheese, red onions. I got some oregano on it. Seasoned it with a little bit of salt. Got some olive oil, jalapeno garlic pepper. I didn't put the olives in. I made some for the family. My dad is not a fan of olives, so I just left them out. But that's all right though. It still tastes good as hell. And I use like the golden cherry tomatoes instead of the red ones. It never fails. Every time I eat fried shrimp, I think about the Sizzler. Who remember the Sizzler? I don't know how far the Sizzler went or who has it, don't have it, but the Sizzler is just a place I grew up on. Like, it was always a good place to go to after church. They had the buffet. I mean, not buffet. Salad bar. You would order your food, pay for your food, go get a seat. Known for their cheesy bread. I would always order the unlimited shrimp or the Malibu chicken. That was my go-to. That's all I ordered. Then when I got older, all I ordered was a salad bar. I'm eating this kind of late, so I think the salad was a good decision, because even though it was gonna be sweet potato fries, I still would have been super full. All right, so I got a dating question for y'all. There is a story time coming in just a second, but a little more eating and a dating question. All right, so if you're going on the first date with somebody, y'all have got to know each other, you want to meet them in person, like you're willing to go on the first date, want to see if y'all got that connection, got that vibe, if you're attracted to them, if that attraction transfers in person, right? Go on the first date. This person is like 20 or 25 minutes late to your first date. Would that upset you? How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel? And this person did not call or text. They are just 25 minutes late. So what happens? Are you still there waiting on them after that time has lapsed? Have you gone? What would you do? I'm real big on time, you know? Cause like, I feel like you're assuming I have this abundance of time available to just hang out with you on this first date. And you feel like you can just show up whenever and not communicate. That is a red flag on the play. I feel like it will be over. We probably will be done at that point. Because it takes nothing to send a quick text message or call to just say, hey, I'm in traffic, or I had to stop and get gas, or I left my wallet, whatever the issue is. I feel like you could just call and communicate that. So you didn't call and you late. That ain't it. And like 25 minutes is a long time. That's basically a half an hour, right? So I'm pretty sure I got there on time. I'm pretty sure I was actually there before our scheduled time, which is cool. I feel like the clock don't start until the time that you guys agreed to show up together or for the date. Yeah. Communication is key, because communication could have saved me feeling how I feel about you. You know? So y'all let me know. So what you think? You giving them a chance? What? Are you leaving? I know you're already blocked. What y'all doing? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to read what y'all say too. Y'all might give me some interesting perspective too. So that's why I like to ask like questions to see what y'all gotta say. See how y'all would handle it. All right, y'all. This is the last shrimp. We're gonna get into story time. All right, my good people, we are about to get into story time, but before we do, I have to talk to you about PDS Debt. That is today's sponsor of this video, y'all, and I'm excited. I'm excited because, look, financial freedom is important to me. I know it's important to y'all, and I want to help move things in the right direction. So, look, if you are struggling with at least $6,000 to $8,000 in unsecured debt, this is for you. And when I'm talking about debt, I mean credit cards, I'm talking about private student loans, I'm talking about personal loans, medical bills, collection accounts, all of that qualifies. So if any of that is you, I'm telling you, this is a great opportunity. So what PDS Debt can do for you is consolidated. So let's say you have 7 accounts that are outstanding and you're struggling with those payments. You got high interest credit cards. They can get that rolled into one payment that you're making per month. So you're saving thousands on interest, fees, all of that. And not to mention, you paying this stuff off way faster than you probably would just doing it on your own. You know, I'll be honest with you. If you're just making a minimum payment on the credit card, it's going to take, what, 15, 20 years to get it paid off? So give yourself a chance to go ahead and get some relief. Give yourself some breathing room, all right? And, you know, look, we have financial struggles for different reasons, whether it's a divorce or you were affected by the pandemic, you got laid off. There may have just been a rough patch, you know what I'm saying, where you had to live off a high interest credit card in order to get gas, get your groceries, whatever the case may be. Here's a chance for you to go ahead and turn things around. So if you want to buy that house, if you want, you know, you want to get a new car, but you want a lower interest rate, you know, credit is a very big part of that. You know what I'm saying? And consolidating all of these accounts into one account gives you a chance. It's obviously going to affect your credit in a positive way because those accounts will now be at a zero balance. So, and when I talk about collection accounts, medical bills, they have the right people in place that can negotiate that on your behalf and get lower payments. So I'm telling you, like, I'm only going to come to y'all with the real because that's very important. And I know many of y'all can benefit from this. And I'll tell you, look, I found PDS because I reached out to them. You know, I saw them online. And I reached out to them because, you know, I'm staying at home with my parents and I'm laser focused on being, you know, financially free. So I reached out to see what they could do for me. And here's my experience. I was connected with an account manager named James. He was incredibly nice. We was on there small talking, laughing, all of that. But we got down to business, and it was that they couldn't help me. You know, I have a plan in place, and my plan is good, it's solid. And James told me, he was honest with me, Rhonda, I can't do nothing for you. I can't do anything for you, but you know, continue doing what you're doing. So what I'm bringing this to you too, because this company is not going to take advantage of you. They are going to be in touch with you. You're talking to a real person. You're not just uploading a whole bunch of documents and dealing with the digital process and feeling like you're alone. They will educate you, because this is overwhelming. Finances are very overwhelming and it's uncomfortable. So they're here to educate you and do the right thing, which is the most important thing, is do the right thing. So, there's even a bonus in all of this. If you are eligible, you will get a $25 Visa card. All you got to do, click the link below, pdsdebt.com/RRS. Go ahead and fill out the questionnaire, and they'll be in touch with you. It's that easy. You will speak to a live person. They will hold your hand the entire way. It's not automated. It's not robots. None of that, okay? You're going to have a pleasant experience no matter what happens, whether they can help you or not. Because, again, I didn't actually end up working with them, but it was such an incredible experience. And I know for those of you that will qualify and have the debt and the things that meet their criteria, that you guys are going to be in good hands. And that's what matters to me. So click the link, y'all. It's time to go ahead and get that financial freedom. All right, let's go ahead and get into story time. All right, so let's go ahead and kick things off with the story. So we're going to start off with Raquel. Raquel is in her late 30s, early 40s. She's a television producer. She used to do like investigative journalism, but now she's behind the camera, you know, doing her thing there at a local TV station. And she lives in Philly. And she's single. So we're starting off at a restaurant. So she's at this brand new restaurant, a restaurant she's been dying to go to. It's a place that's really hard to get into, but she was able to get a reservation. Well, her date was able to get a reservation. She was hooked up on a blind date. One of her friends, you know, hyped up one of their boys and was like, I'm gonna hook you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he seems like your type. You guys will be a great match. So, you know, their reservation was at 8 o'clock. She's there. She got there about 7:50. She was able to get seated, and she's chilling. Like, she's there looking over the menu, you know, giving her date time to show up. So 8 o'clock comes and goes, 8:15 comes and goes, 8:25 comes and goes. And she like, look, I mean, what's up? So she reaches out to him. The phone is going straight to voicemail. And she's just like, okay, all right, it's now 8:30, now 8:40. She's going to assume he's not going to come, right? So she could leave, but why do that? You know, she's already dressed. You know, she looks great, smells great. Her hair is on point, makeup is done. She's like, look, I'm gonna have a date night by myself. So she orders a couple of things off of the menu, orders a bottle of wine, and is just enjoying her own company, which is something that she's always been able to do. You know, like, it's really easy for her to not date anybody because she really enjoys her own company. So she in there just having the time of her life. She on like the third glass of wine. This bottle of wine is almost gone. And, you know, she just chilling. She's chilling. So she looks up for a second. And when she does, she looks across towards the bar area. You know, there's like this bistro area, and it's like the high seats. She sees this guy that looks familiar, and she was like, is that Will? And sure enough, it is. It's Will. It's her best friend, Teresa. That's her husband, Will. And she was like, okay, what's up, Will? Like, from a distance, because y'all, she getting a little tipsy at this point. And she's thinking like, I'm going to go say what's up to Will in a second, you know, after I finish this glass of wine. She doesn't rush, takes her time. When she finally takes the last sip, she's about to get up and go say hello, right? So as she's about to get up and go say hello, a woman joins Will at the table. Now, Will is also like in his late 30s, early 40s. And the girl that joins him is like early 20s, mid 20s. But she doesn't look familiar, you know. And it's not like she knows everybody that Will knows, but, you know, she's around Will a lot. And she's like, well, this is interesting. So, but she was like, I wonder what they talking about. Like, I wonder what's up, right? You know what I'm saying? Because she don't want to jump to conclusions. That's her biggest thing. She don't want to blow the whistle on something that is not a big deal. You know, maybe Teresa knows that he's out. So she grabs her phone and calls Teresa. So calls Teresa. Teresa answers like on the second ring. And she like, what's up, girl? Like, what you doing calling me? Like, ain't you on a date? She like, girl, he did not show up, didn't call, didn't say nothing. Like, I'm cool on these blind dates. I'm good. So she like, what? He stood you up? She's like, girl, yes. So he better not try to even call my phone. Matter of fact, he can't call my phone. Like, I'm going to block him, so he won't be able to call me. And so she was like, damn, that's cold. So she was like, well, I ain't tripping. I'm up here chilling or whatever. And so they kind of small talking. And so she goes, where is Will's big head ass at? She like, girl, he is at a cigar lounge with his boys. And thank God, because I'm trying to do laundry. I'm over here trying to get stuff done. I'm trying to bake these cakes. Like, I'm glad that he's gone, because once we start talking, I can't get nothing done. Like, I'm distracted. So I'm glad that he's gone. She was like, why? I was like, no. She was like, nothing. I'm just curious. Like, I'm just asking. So she was like, girl, let me get back to these cakes. She was like, okay, let me get back to this wine. So they hang up or whatever. And so she's just sitting there, just again observing, and nothing has changed. It doesn't seem romantic. They're not touchy-feely. They're laughing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They seem like friends, right? So Raquel asked for her check or whatever, and she's wrapping up her bill, and she pays her bill. She's still sitting in her seat, and then she notices Will asking for the bill as well. So while he's waiting for the bill, she decides to go ahead and leave. She goes to her car. She gets inside of it, and she drives around the parking lot until she sees Will's truck, right? She sees his truck, and she parks in close proximity so she can kind of see Will go to his truck and what's going to happen next. Because, again, she like, I don't think nothing is going on, but like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So she parks backwards into this parking stall so she could see everything that's happening, right? So about 20 minutes goes by, and finally she sees Will and this woman walking outside. They're not close. They're not touchy-feely, not touching hands or nothing, right? So the girl, she goes to this car, she grabs something out of the glove compartment, and then she goes and gets in Will's truck. You know, Will's already in his truck. She climbs in the passenger seat and they take off. So she was like, where are they going? I mean, like, what's next or whatever, right? So she's like, okay, cool. So she decides to follow him. You know, I want to see how this ends. So she follows him, and things start off on the main street, and they work their way to the back street, like some little side streets. And then eventually they're in this neighborhood. Now, this neighborhood looks really familiar because like 2 years ago, Raquel wanted to buy a house in this neighborhood, right? So it looks really familiar. So Will parks his truck in front of this house or whatever, and she parks like maybe 4 or 5 cars away. And she's looking, she could see what's going on. He's parked on, you know, in front of one house, but he walks across the street. So she's parked on the same side of the street that he is. So she has a really good view of the house that he's about to walk up to, right? So she's looking, and he's walking up or whatever, and she's expecting him to knock on the door, but he reaches in his pocket and he pulls out a key. So he puts the key inside of the, you know, he's opening the door, but he's kind of struggling, like he can't really open it, right? So then the door creeps open. There's somebody on the other side that opens the door because they could hear him struggling, right? So the door opens and she sees Teresa, her best friend. She's like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, she didn't say anything about them like getting an Airbnb or anything, or them having company, but I mean, okay. So she's like, this is interesting. Like, this is all just interesting. Just seeing Will out with another woman, now coming home to Teresa. Like, are they on some swinger type shit? Like, what could be going on, right? So she gets a good look at the address, and she decides to Google it. Like, she just wants to see what's going on with the address. She Googles the address, and the address is registered to Will and to Teresa. So they've owned this house for the last 3 years. Teresa has never mentioned anything about having a second house, right? And she's like, what? She's like, that's strange. And she was like, you know, when she was trying to buy the house 2 years ago, she was like, Teresa was real heavy about talking her out of that neighborhood. And she was like, I guess this is why. You know, I would have found out that she had this house over here. She was like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, that's not like Teresa to fail to mention that she purchased another house, right? So she's like, okay. So she's sitting around just waiting for activity. Is somebody going to leave? Are the lights going to go off? Like, the lights are on. She doesn't see any movement in the house. She's looking. Hour goes by, 2 hours go by. She still was just hanging in there, needing to know what's about to happen next, right? Is Will going to take the girl back to her car? Like, what's going on? So eventually she just dozes off. She falls asleep, right? Now, by the time she wakes up, it's like 6, 7 in the morning. She's startled, and when she wakes up, because a car drives by, it's like this heavy truck drives by, and it, like, you know, shakes her car a little bit, and she's startled. She wakes up, you know, realizing like, oh shit, like I'm in this neighborhood or whatever. She gets up and she's wondering if anybody has seen her. Has Teresa seen her? Has Will seen her? You know, camped out at this house in the neighborhood. You know, she sees Will's truck is still where it was when she went to sleep, and she's just wondering what's going on at this point, right? So she's still just looking for any activity, right? And then there's this like medium-sized like moving truck like comes to the house, and you know, this guy hops out, and he's in a jumpsuit. He goes to the door, he knocks on it, and Teresa answers the door, and he goes back to the truck and he starts pulling out furniture. Now, it's not a lot of furniture, but it's like, you know, a new rug, some lamps, end tables, you know, so maybe they're getting new furniture or something like that, or remodeling. She doesn't know. So they drop off that furniture. They go in and drop everything off, but then they also take away some old furniture. So I guess like they're revamping stuff. So they have a rug that's rolled up. They got some end tables, some lamps, some vases and stuff like that. So it's nothing, not huge furniture, but just a quick like exchange, right? So she's like, okay. So they're making some updates to the house. Okay, cool. So the moving truck, it like leaves. So she's still just sitting there. So like 20 minutes later go by, and Will and Teresa come out the house together. They get in Will's truck, And luckily they drive just straight ahead. They drive and don't turn around, because had they turned around, if they would have turned around, they would have seen, you know, Raquel in her car, but she was like ducked down, but still she just didn't want, you know, they know her car and stuff like that, right? So luckily they just take off straight down the block or whatever, the street, and they turn left and they're out of sight. So she's just curious, like, well, the girl didn't come outside with them. Did she leave? You know, maybe in the middle of the night, did she call an Uber, or did somebody pick her up? So she's like, okay, well, for the sake of it, I have to know what's going on. So she was like, I'm just too invested. So what she decides to do is she, you know, circles back around. She gets off of the street and she, you know, goes back to the restaurant. Now the parking lot is empty because it's like early in the morning and the restaurant is not open. The girl's car is still there. So she's like, damn, okay, so her car is still here, but where is she? You know, she's like, I guess she's at the house. But again, I don't know what's going on in the house. You know what I'm saying? So she like, I'm just too curious. So she can't help it. She cannot leave this car alone. So she decides to like break in the car. So she gets into the car and she's just looking around, like looking at stuff, like looking to see if anything looks out of place. She looks in the, you know, middle console. She looks in the glove compartment, and there's really nothing in there. There's nothing in there, no registration, no insurance information, nothing at all. And also this car looks like it's not a brand new car, but it doesn't have license plates on it. So she's just like, okay, I mean, I don't know. This is just weird, right? So she goes home and she's just like thinking about like all the things that Teresa probably hasn't told her, right? So she's just lost in her thoughts. At this point, she's losing the track of time. She's about to be late for work. She calls in sick to work, tells him that she's just not gonna be able to make it in. And she's just pondering at this point, just pondering, wondering, should she approach Teresa about it? Does she have enough reason to say anything at this point? You know, like she's just pondering, right? So she's in her thoughts, and then she's startled because her phone rings and it's Teresa. And Teresa's like, what's up, girl? What you doing? She was like, you at work? She was like, actually, I'm not. You know, I called in sick. I just wasn't feeling it. And so she was like, are you okay? She's like, no, I'm good. I just, you know, just one of those days, you know, I just want to sleep in, just chill at the house, you know, whatever. She was like, are we still on for the night? And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm still coming over. Yeah, I'll be there about 8 o'clock or so. She's like, okay, well, I'll just see you tonight. All right, cool. So, you know, she goes and takes a shower. She orders some food, takes a nap. And then, you know, she really just kind of lays around until it's time to go to Teresa's house. So it's there. Will's truck is not in the driveway. You know, Teresa's there. Also, their son, Kendall, is there. They have an 11-year-old named Kendall. And so, you know, she goes in the house, makes her way into the kitchen. That's usually where they hang out at when they had a little girl time together. And the bar is stocked. So Teresa got everything out. There's wine, there's vodka, there's champagne, there's tequila, there's whiskey, there's whatever you need, whatever kind of mixer, right? So, you know, Raquel want to keep it kind of easy and light. So she starts off with some wine. You know? So she's like, girl, what you been up to? She was like, girl, trying to get these damn orders together. She was just like, I've been baking all day. I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm ready to just have a drink. I'm ready to just chill. I'm ready to get out of this kitchen. So she's like putting the finishing touches on some cupcakes. So Teresa left her day job and opened this business like to make baked goods. She wants to build her clientele slow and steady, you know, give referrals and stuff like that, build a bunch of relationships, secure some contracts and stuff like that. And then eventually she wants to open a bakery. So she's just starting small and working her way up, you know, but she's really getting a lot of good word of mouth of the work that she does, right? So, you know, she was like, girl, I'm just tired. You know what I mean? So then her phone rings. So Teresa's phone rings. She answers it. And the phone is a very quick conversation. And she ends the, you know, the conversation like, all right, I'll be right there, right? Gets off the phone, looks at Raquel and it's like, look, I'll be back in 20 minutes. Can you please watch Kendall? He's probably playing this game. So it'll be quick. You ain't got to do nothing. Enjoy the drinks. I'll be right back. I got to go take this cake topper to my client. I forgot it. And, you know, I forgot it in my car or whatever. I forgot to give it to him. So she's like, yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead, take your time. I'll be here. I'll be chilling or whatever. She's like, yeah, I'll be right back. So in her mind, this is perfect because she wants to look around the house. So Teresa gets her stuff together. You know, you can hear the garage door open. She waits to hear it close and the coast is clear. And now it's time for her to go ahead and get this, you know, rush around the house real quick to see what she could find, to see if she get any of this stuff to add up, right? So for whatever reason, she looks in the junk drawer downstairs. There's nothing in there but junk, just a bunch of random shit, right? So she makes her way upstairs. She pokes her head into Kendall's room. He's in his gaming chair playing his game. He is not paying attention to nobody but the game. And so he takes his, you know, earbud phone off real quick and is like, you know, hey, Auntie Raquel, whatever. And she's like, look, if you need me, I'll be downstairs. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. Gets back to the game, right? So he ain't paying her no mind. So she makes her way over to their bedroom, to the master bedroom. She's looking in the nightstand. She's looking in the drawers. She's looking in the closet, you know, looking, you know, underneath little boxes in the closet. Nothing is checking out. Looking in the pockets, pants pockets, coat pockets, nothing. Looking under the bed, checking under the mattress, nothing. Like there's nothing here. Everything is fine. She's like, I'm probably just tripping. Maybe I'm just in my feelings about stuff I didn't know, the stuff that she didn't tell me about, you know what I'm saying? But okay, whatever. Let me look in the office and then I'll be done. I will leave this alone. So she goes into the office and, you know, she's looking in the bookshelf, like she's looking through books to see if there's any loose papers, kind of hanging out or hiding, nothing. She looks in the drawers, nothing. Looks in the trash can, nothing. Like, everything really is just fine. So she gets on the computer and she's surprised that it's unlocked, but it is. So Teresa is signed into her profile on the computer and she's just looking around, looking through her email. She got PayPal transactions. She got a bunch of junk mail. She got credit card offers. Like, nothing is in there, right? So she's just looking through all kind of stuff. Nothing on the computer, random folders that are untitled, nothing. Nothing is inside. Nothing is a red flag. There's nothing to be concerned about. She's like, I guess I was just tripping. I mean, it ain't nothing for me to talk about or ask her about, right? So as she's about to get off of the computer, she decides to look in the trash can, like the trash can on the computer. So she double clicks on the trash can and there's these 3 IDs of these 3 girls. And she's like, I wonder who these girls are. They're all around the same age. None of them live in Philadelphia. They all live in outside states. And so she's just like, okay, so they all around the same. They all kind of look the same. She's like, okay. So she pulls her phone out. She takes a picture of them just to have it. And as she's taking the picture, she's like going back, looking at her phone and making sure the picture is clear enough for her to be able to see and make out their information. And as she's doing this, she can hear the garage go up. So the garage goes up. So 15, 20 minutes have gone by. The garage goes up. She hears whoever is coming home. It might be Will, it might be Teresa, but she puts her phone in her pocket. She closes out the computer. She rushes downstairs, get back to her glass of wine, you know, so she can look like, you know, she wasn't doing nothing, right? So she sits down. Teresa walks in and, you know, Teresa pours herself a glass of wine and she's ready to relax. And so Raquel is just looking kind of out of it. She was like, are you okay? She was like, you know what? I actually really don't feel well. I think I need to go lay down. She was like, well, just lay down on the couch. Lay down for, you know, 20, 30 minutes and maybe you'll feel better shortly. She's like, nah, like it might be something I ate earlier and my stomach was kind of fucked up anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go home and take some medicine, just go lay down, you know, like I'm just gonna go to bed for the night. She was like, all right, well, let me know when you make it home and I hope you feel better. She was like, all right, yeah, I'll let you know. So she gets in the car, she takes off. She does not live that far from Teresa. She's about 15, 20 minutes away. She cannot wait to get inside. She gets inside and she makes her way to her laptop. She gets logged in and she pulls up, you know, the pictures in her phone and she starts Googling the information about these girls, you know, because who are they? You know, what business do they have with, you know what I'm saying? What business do they have with Teresa or Will? So she Googles their information and sure enough, all the girls are missing, every single one of them. They're missing and their stories all kind of sound the same. They're missing suddenly. They made big withdrawals from their accounts and that's it. Friends and family haven't been able to get in touch with them. They didn't say anything and it's just not making sense, right? So now she's like, okay, I don't know what happened to the girl that Will was at dinner with. Now these 3 girls are missing. Something isn't right. So she's like, okay. But again, she's like, I don't even know what to do. I mean, do I call the police? What am I even going to tell them? I don't have enough information to really say anything. Like I need answers. I need more. And so she's having a hard time. Like she's nervous and worried, concerned, confused. And she's kind of like pacing around her place, walking back and forth, like trying to figure things out. You know, just thinking back on maybe things that Teresa has said. And I mean, nothing out of the norm has happened, you know, leading up to this point. And so, you know, she opens up a bottle of tequila, takes a couple of shots and goes to sleep. Because she's like, I need to sleep this off and I'm going to see what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? So next day, she calls into work sick again, right? Saying she's still not feeling well. So in the afternoon, she decides to get in her car and she goes back over to that house, to the house that, you know, that she didn't know about that Teresa and Will had. So she goes to the house and she's kind of scoping out the neighborhood. It's very quiet. Nobody is really outside. The houses are kind of spaced out. And she decides to get out of the car. She wants to just look at the property, you know? So she's kind of looking around the front yard real quick. Nothing looks abnormal or out of place. She's trying to peek in the blinds. Nothing really looks abnormal, out of place. No movement or anything. Goes to the side of the house. It's well kept. Makes her way around. She sees there's a garage and it has a padlock on it. She's checking out the backyard. Everything looks fine. The back door is locked. There's a sliding glass door. It's locked. Like there's nothing really. The house looks empty, right? So she's like, okay, all right. So she's like, let me see what's inside of this garage. So she picks the lock very easily, picks it, and she's nervous. Like her stomach is really like bubbling because she's nervous about what could possibly be inside, right? So she takes a deep breath and she slowly opens the garage. Luckily, there was nothing inside. And when I tell you nothing, there's nothing inside. No shelves, no tools, no boxes, nothing. There's nothing. This garage is completely clean. And she like, okay, all right, cool. So she closes the garage, right? So now let's fast forward to maybe about 5 or 6 hours later. It's dark. And now at this point, Teresa and Will, they speed into their driveway. And it's a long driveway. So they speed into the driveway and they're getting really close to the garage. So they're like at the back of the house, right? But they come around to the front door. But they're like rushing. There's like a sense of urgency, right? So they rush around to the front door. They open it. They go inside of the house. And, Teresa's just like, hurry up. Like, we got to make it quick. We got about 15 minutes. I need you to get everything together. I don't know why you took so long. Like, I mean, this is a very time sensitive situation. He's like, I know. Okay. Like, how many times do I have to say, sorry? I'm sorry. I was late. My bad. All right. Okay, like I know what to do, Teresa. Okay, you don't have to keep telling me, all right? I'm not a kid. I'm not a child. I know that I was late, but we're going to make up for it. We got 15 minutes. We're going to get this shit done. So they're scrambling around the house. Will is in the front of the house, and he's like in the coat closet. He's digging through the coat closet. He comes back. He has a couple of bags that he pulls out, and Teresa is like looking at this paperwork. She's fumbling through it. She's looking for something very specific, and then eventually she works her way to the kitchen. The kitchen is dark, and when she goes into the kitchen, she flips the light on, and Raquel is sitting at the table. And she's startled, like, girl, what are you doing here? I'm surprised to see you. Like, what are you doing here? Raquel, like, why are you sitting in the dark? How did you get in here? Like, what's going on? She's like, that's exactly why I'm here. I need to know what the fuck is going on. And she's like, what are you talking about? So Teresa's like, okay, go ahead. What are the questions? Like, I mean, this seems so serious and so intense. Like, you're scaring me. What are the questions? And she's like, this house, like, what, like, why didn't I know that you had this house? And she's like, do you think you know everything about me? I know that we're best friends. I know that we've known each other since high school, but you don't know everything about me, just like I don't know everything about you. And that's okay. She's like, nah, what made you buy this house? Why did you talk me out of buying a house in this neighborhood? Was there something that you were trying to keep me away from? Something that you're doing that you didn't want me to find out about? And she's just like, no, like, okay, look, we came into some money. Nobody knew about it. I found out about this house before it was listed on the market. We got a great deal for it. I bought it, thought we were going to flip it. It didn't work out like that. That's it. She was like, so you couldn't tell me that? She was like, again, I don't have to tell you everything, just like you don't know everything about me. And she's like, Will. So she yells out to Will. She's like, Will, come here. Because Will can't hear this exchange that's happening. Like, he's another part of the house. And so Will comes over and he's like, what? He's like, what's going on? He's like, Raquel, what are you doing here? And she's like, yeah, Raquel has some questions for us. She wanted to know about the house, like why we bought it. So I told her, we got a good deal on the house and that was it. And nobody knows about it. It's not that big of a deal, And so she's just like, nah, something don't sound right. Okay, fine. Let's move on from the house. Let's pretend that what you're telling me is the truth. Fine. But what about the girls? And Teresa's like, what girls? And Will is looking confused too, like, yeah, what girls? What are you talking about, Raquel? Well, first of all, I'm talking about the girl that you were out with the other night. I saw you guys eating dinner. I saw you guys come back to this house. I never saw the girl leave. Her car was still at the parking lot at the restaurant. Like, what happened to that girl? Where is she? But then also, where are Maya, Nicole, and Kendra? I saw their licenses on your fucking computer, and they're all missing. I did my research and confirmed it. Each one of them has a missing person report. Where are they? And she's like, okay, look, okay. I know that this may sound strange. Yeah, you think? Yeah, it does sound strange. Why are you linked to these women that are missing? Why is there information on your computer? What? Did they order cakes from you? Did they order cupcakes from you? Is that what you're gonna try to tell me? Some bullshit like that? She's like, listen, okay, look. Will started doing some work at the shelter, okay? There were a couple of women that came to the shelter from out of state that were having issues, and we've been helping them get off the grid. That's it. We've been helping them get off the grid and start a brand new life. That is it. Okay, so you were helping them get off the grid. What about the money? What about the money? Each one of them had reports they pulled significant amounts of money out of their accounts. For what? What is the money for? Again, we're helping them start over again. They need money. I get that they're off the grid, but they're still going to have to go to the store every now and then when they start their brand new lives. That's why. Come on. You really think I would do something crazy? Really? Come on. How long have you known me? You know me better than that. I can't even believe we're having this conversation right now. Really, Raquel? All you had to do was ask me. You didn't have to break in my house and accuse me of shit. And so Raquel is like, okay, Like, that makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My mind went wild. I saw Will out with, you know, the young lady at the restaurant, and I saw him come back to the house, and you answered the door, and it was just so confusing. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just got wrapped up in the fact that I was entitled to know everything that you have going on, you know? Like, maybe this got the best of me and started hurting my feelings. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I just hope that you can forgive me, you know, and I'll just, you know, go ahead and let myself out, because I know that you probably didn't want to see my face right now, and that I would even go as far as to accuse you of some shit. And she was just like, yeah, you know, like, I would like it if you leave. We got somewhere we got to be. We already running late, and this is not making it any better. So if you could leave, that would be great. And so as she's getting ready to walk, she's almost at the door, and then she hears a scream. There's a scream, and it's coming from the side of the house. And she looks out of the window. She sees a flash. There's this girl that just runs by. So she came from the back of the house, and now she ran towards the front of the house. So Raquel reaches in her pocket, and she pulls out a gun. She was like, why is there a girl running and screaming? What is going on? What is going on, Will? Will, you better say something right now. Teresa, you better say something right now. Who is she? What is going on? What's happening? So Teresa's like, put the gun down. Look, put the gun down. We could talk. She was like, nah, we can't talk about shit. She was like, nah. See, I'm glad that I followed my instincts. I'm glad that I'm here. What the fuck are y'all doing? What y'all up to? What's going on? So Teresa tries to step forward, and she tries to step to Raquel, and bang, she shoots her in her leg. And so Teresa crashes to the ground. She was like, I'm not playing. She was like, I'm not playing, and I want some answers, and I want them right now. Tell me what's going on. And so Teresa's like, okay. Please put the gun down. She's like, all right, I'll tell you everything that's going on. She was like, we bought this house 3 years ago. We fell on hard times. We were about to lose the house. We needed to come into a significant amount of money. We tried to borrow some money. We couldn't get the money. We couldn't get the money from anybody. And we kind of got caught up in something, basically. Caught up in what? Caught up in what? Tell me the details. What are you talking about? Caught up in what? Will, you seem real quiet. Why don't you tell me the details? Okay, so like she said, we fell on hard times, and, you know, we really couldn't get any money from the bank. We couldn't borrow any money from anybody, and we just got desperate. Like, we didn't want to lose everything. We worked so hard to get everything. You know how hard we have worked to get where we are, and we just didn't want to lose it. We were, you know, we had just got this house, and we were doing good, and then what? And I was talking to somebody at my old job, and they told me about the black market and how much money you can make on the black market. Do you know anything about the black market? There's so much money. And we got caught up. Okay, what exactly were you selling on the black market? Are you sex trafficking these women? He's like, well, I'm not really sure what happens to the women, to be honest with you, because this is what we started doing. Okay, listen to me. What we do is we lure these women on Craigslist. We would post different ads and tell them that we were a part of this agency, that we were going to help them be models, that they were going to travel all over the world. These women were so desperate. They were young, impressionable, and they fell for it. We did it once, and we kept on doing it over and over again. We made sure to target women that lived outside of Philadelphia, and we just got carried away. So once we got the women here, you know, I would usually go out with them, you know, take them to dinner, make them feel comfortable, you know, so they wouldn't have any concerns. And once they let their guards down, bring them back to the house. And, you know, sometimes we drug them, slip them different things in their drinks. And once they're passed out, we'd have an exchange. And that would be it. We don't know what happens to them after that. We don't know if they're getting them for their organs. Are they being sex trafficked? We have no idea. But we're getting $10,000 a pop. And once you're getting that kind of money, it's hard to stop. It's hard. It's so fast. It's so easy. It's easy to do what we were supposed to stop a long time ago. And now we can. We can stop now. She's like, nah, fuck all that. You just go up and stop? Like, you sick motherfucker, you. Like, I can't even believe you. And what happened to the girl you were at dinner with the other night? What happened to her? She had a white car and she left it at the restaurant. She was under the influence, and we had some moving guys come in, and they wrapped her up inside of a rug, and they took her and made the exchange. So the moving company helps us transport the women so that it just doesn't look so obvious. And she's like, I can't believe this. He's like, I know it's crazy, but I said we were going to stop, and today could be the last day. We can stop right now. We can stop right now, and we can act like this never happened. We can give you money. We can give you whatever you want just to make this go away. Like, we never meant for this to get out of control and to turn into all of this. That was never our intentions. It never was. And so she just looking at him like, you crazy motherfuckers. She still has her gun pointed. She puts the phone in her ear, and all you hear is 911 was your emergency. And that's the end of the story. So, you know, she caught her best friend up. They got caught up in the underground world, got desperate. That's what money can do to people. Makes them get desperate sometimes. Very, very desperate. Like, it's some crazy things that go on. And let me tell you a little bit about the girl that was screaming. That was a girl that they had in their trunk. They were going to get some money off of her. They had an exchange plan. They were running behind schedule. So that's why they ran to the house, was rushing, trying to get everything together. But luckily, the girl was drugged, but she came to, and she jumped out of the trunk screaming, trying to get help. And yeah, so that's it. That's the crazy ending. Like, man. And like I said, like, you know, yeah, we have best friends. And I feel like no matter how close you are with somebody, no matter how long you know them, you don't know every single detail about them. Like, there's always kind of things, missing pieces here and there. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is a pretty extreme case. But could your best friend be living a secret life? I mean, shit, anything is possible at this point. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and meet me in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back on Thursday with another story time, y'all. So it'll probably be a love story. We'll see. All right, either way, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Make the best of the day. Be good to yourself, y'all. Peace.
I be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they